Good day, podcast community. Pete Kane here, Podcast Pete and certified high performance coach. Yes, it's Thursday and it's Relationships Matter podcast. Want to give you some different thought processes, thinking, because relationships matter. I go back to a long time ago when Tony Robbins shared the quality of your life is the quality of your relationships. So when you look at yourself, when you do that journaling, when you do that thinking, think about that. The quality of your life is the quality of your relationships. So we're going to go about it a little differently. And then I'm going to offer you something. One is a clarity session. Because if you're not clear about where you're going, any distraction will get you there. Distraction. When the best minds, the best engineers, best, brightest people are hired to capture your attention on these social platforms, you have an uphill battle because they're good at what they do and they know how to get your attention. So you have to be intentional about protecting your time, about building those relationships because they matter. The quality of your life is the quality of your relationships. So let's go to the three things that I want to just challenge you with today. All right. Let me change screens here. All right. Your future looks bright with these three things. Critical thinking. Okay. We got AI. We got everybody trying to grab your attention. You got TikTok videos. You're getting entertained. You're watching TV up to 4 hours a day. That's a lot of time you're consuming with other people's life. We want you to think about creating your life. Think about your life. Journal. Ponder. Think. Meditate. Pray. Whatever you need to do to get into a critical thinking, because AI is only going to get better. And they're going to get better at this, knowing what you like. And if they can give you what you like and you're not thinking critically, you're going to be consuming that. You don't want to be consuming other people's lives. You want to be creating your life. So having that critical thinking, having that time when you get a pen and you get a piece of paper or you get a notebook and you start writing. We have between 12,000 and 60,000 thoughts that go through our head every single day. How the heck do you keep them straight? You can't unless you start critically thinking. Writing them down, get them out of this head into paper. There's something magical about writing. It gives us clarity. It gives us energy. It gives us the purpose that we need. But if we're constantly distracted by TikTok videos and TV shows, then we're just entertaining other people's life instead of creating your life. You are the magic. Anything's possible. But you got to think. You got to critical think. You got to write. Just the fact of just writing things gets clarity, gets that out of your head and into paper. There's magical. I have 16 plus journals in 3.5 years. I had basically about one or two before that. And what it has done is given me clarity, given me energy, having more courage, being more productive, and growing influence. what I do, what we do in our community is to help you go after the people that don't know you. If you're an influential person in your local area, which a lot of people are, but then when I search them, I don't see that much. So how am I going to get to know, like, and trust you if you don't give me anything to work with? That's why we do podcasts. That's why we do courses. That's why we do these videos. Because you got to put yourself out there for people to get to know you. 20%, let's look at the 80-20 scenario. We'll look at two sandboxes. You got the 20% sandbox. That's the people that know you, the local people. That's 150 people. That's the basically the amount of people that a person can keep track of mentally. If you go beyond that, you can't have meaningful relationships with 10,000 people. So we work in that 150 sandbox. But let's go over to the other sandbox. This is the 80%. This is the sandbox that's global. This is the sandbox that is part of people that don't know you. Because they're out there. They're looking, but if you're not giving them anything, they're not going to go on a journey with you. The journey to know, like, and trust you is online. You could have tens of thousands, millions that are on that journey with you. Because you're putting that content out there and you're giving people an opportunity to get to know, like, and trust you. Trust is critical. It doesn't happen unless you go through that. And doing that online gives you the ability to have millions of people that can be getting to know, like, and trust. And when you look at people of influence online, they have millions of people that have gotten to know, like, and trust them out there. And I want to just clarify this because I'm part of Rotary. We serve, we make an impact in the community. We help people. And when we do that, we think about sometimes that we don't want to shine anything on us. We just want to make an impact. We're not influencers from the Kardashians or the people that are out there doing it in a different way. And everybody can decide how they do it. But servants like my friends at Rotary, they serve, they don't need their name in the lights. They don't need their name on a building. They don't need to be recognized for every single thing they do. They just want to serve. They just want to make an impact. And when sometimes we think we don't want to do a podcast and share our story because we're not interested about our story, we want to impact others. But if you don't shine out, you don't shine your story, your impact, what is possible, then people can't shine in. So think of it as a podcast is sharing your story so people can be attracted to what you're doing. Think of yourself as a magnet, not shining out and say, look at me. You're saying, I want to make an impact. This is how I'm making an impact. And if this is something that serves you and you want to be involved, please join me. Because together we're better. Together we're better. So critical thinking. The next one is puzzle solving. Now, it's kind of a weird one. Why do you put puzzle solving on there? Some people put problem solving. But when you look at your journey, You have to always be solving problems. And when you're puzzle solving, you're figuring out, how can I make an impact? And if you're going to make an impact, you got to be a person of influence. So you have to discover what that means to you and what you can do with critical thinking and puzzle solving. Because if you're always solving, whatever you're in, nonprofit, business, it doesn't matter because they're all the same. You're trying to grow whatever you're doing, whether it's your business or your nonprofit, because if you're not wanting to make an impact with your nonprofit, you're not discovering the biggest way to change the world. Because as a nonprofit, they make communities. And as you are a nonprofit leader, you have to say, there's thousands, tens of thousands of nonprofit. Yes, you're passionate about yours, but there's tens of thousands of other people who are passionate about theirs. So you have to emotionally connect with the right people. If you're a nonprofit with foster kids, then you have to connect with people that emotionally connect to your cause. It's probably and could be somebody that came up in that system and it changed their life. They'll be obviously wanting to give back and help others. And maybe they're successful. They don't know that your organization is out there, but you're putting your stories out there. You're dropping those seeds, as we call it, those digital seeds. Well, seeds grow, and so does your influence online. It can grow too as you plant more seeds, more podcasts, more videos, more stories, putting yourself out there so people can find them. And when they find them, they come right back to you. And then you're growing your influence, you're growing your impact, you're growing your relationships. Because your ability, a person of influence online, is putting those relationship seeds, those digital seeds out there. And seeds grow. And you can grow too. So you want to make a bigger impact? You want to build those relationships? Critical think. Think. Don't get distracted by everything. Know where you want to go, your plan, and if you scan the QR code up at the top, and I'll put this on the bottom here, you can go to pkane.me/connect, where we'll spend 15 to 25 minutes, maybe 30 at the most, helping you get clear, understanding where you want to go with your business or your nonprofit. Together we're better. I'm a certified high performance coach. And so this is what I do, is help you grow, help you transform. Transform. That's what we want. But getting there is the tough part. The change that's possible. We got to get out of our comfort zone. Those statues out there get erected. Hey, Pete, he stayed in his comfort zone his whole life. Man, he never stepped up. He never challenged himself. He didn't think of excellence, but he was comfortable. Doesn't happen like that. All right. The third one. Meaningful relationships. Why do I say meaningful relationships? We have relationships, but what I do and what our community does, we go deeper. More meaningful relationships come through our podcast. When I spend a half hour with you, which I hope to have an opportunity to do that, to introduce you to our community, introduce your story, your journey, your passion, your impact that you want to make to the world, then our community gets bigger and stronger and more impactful. So the more stories, more people that understand your story, the more meaningful relationships that you're going to have. I've had probably closer to 500 than 400 podcasts. I remember everybody's story. Do I remember the facts, the figures, the details? Absolutely not. Not even close. But I know your story because I connect with stories. We all do. Sharing your story is like sharing sunshine to the world. The world does need more sunshine. It's kind of, well, you can say there's a lot of anger, frustration, whatever. And you looking in the mirror and saying, what can I do to get better? You don't need to be changing everybody. Just change yourself. Lean into relationships. Lean into critical thinking. Solve those problems and build those meaningful relationships. So schedule a clarity call at bking.me. Oh, that's Connect. Oh, geez, I got the wrong one up here. Hold on here. There we go. Okay. Dang. Yeah, the Connect call, you want to connect with us, connect with us. We love to have you connected. We love for you to be a guest on my podcast or one of our podcasts in our community, because we are a community of podcasters, community to impact, to influence, to grow our online presence, to be able to go after the 80% of the people that don't know you. Give them an opportunity to get to know, like, and trust you. So schedule a clarity session, or you can scan the QR code right there. And if you think there's people that you to see this, because we do them 6 days a week. Monday is motivation. Tuesday is marketing. Wednesday's community. Thursday is relationships. Friday is mindset. And Saturday is leadership. So every single 5 days a week, I'll want to bring to you ways for you to grow. As we say, level up. Always want to be challenging yourself. Always want to be growing. Always want to be searching for excellence. Now, we create a lifestyle business, which means you love what you do. When you love what you do, you can work with a different pace and passion. I love what I do. I love to bring to you, to challenge you, to help you achieve your purpose, to have clarity in your life, energy, courage, productivity, and influence. And what we do is the influence online. Play the global game. Play the 80% of the people that don't know you yet. Because the more people to get to know you, like you, and trust you, the more impact you're going to make in your business or your nonprofit. All right. I'll see you tomorrow. Mindset. Man, I've got some cool things. Mindset. I love that topic. And as I leave you,